Stacey, I saw you're having been interviewed, and I guess people are really reacting to that interview. Is that?
I think people are just reacting in general to the whole thing. And, you know, when I went on Access Hollywood, I wanted to do it, you know, out of respect for Whitney and to tell the story the way that I thought it should be told. And then I've just received so much backlash about it. And it's really just hurtful. It's hurtful because it seems
let me just join your hands with you because Whoopi Goldberg took aim at me. I mean, you didn't see that? My friend Whoopi, you're my buddy. What happened here? But if you say anything that you know has any degree of speculation, I guess, attached to it, people really react to that.
Well, what did she say? What was
Whoopi? I really didn't hear. I just heard it was bad. It was not good. I don't like to keep that negativity
I just, you know
around.
what it is? I think that people feel, in all honesty, we should let her be laid to rest. And I agree. I agree that, you know, the woman is not even in her grave yet, and we're all speculating about what we already knew. Like, why are we discussing something or asking questions about what was the obvious? And I feel like
that she was in trouble. She was
she was in trouble, and we all knew she was in trouble. And now the media is, you know, sort of really taking this approach like, well, what was happening? And we already knew, and no one was saying anything. And I think that's the saddest part of this story. Like, no one helped her, and that's what I feel sad about. I'm not gonna go and, you know, bash Whitney Houston. She was someone that meant everything to me. She inspired me to sing.
Well,
and
in fact, I understand that's how the evening started out. You were introduced to her, and this was like, oh my God, this is my hero.
Yeah, that's exactly how it started out. And we had a really good conversation. And I have to admit, Dr. Drew, I almost didn't make it because I heard, you know, someone said that I was stalking her for the evening and that she got upset and said, "You get out of my face." And that was, you know, and Nikki, you know, Nikki was there, and that's
Nikki
why.
Nikki can vouch for Stacey.
Yeah, that's why I asked Nikki to come on with me, because we were all at the party together. We were downstairs when Whitney came in. I walked in with her, and it was a really great, we were having a phenomenal time. She's funny, she was witty, she had a great sense of humor. I mean, it was like sisters. It was fun. She even told me about the offer on the table from the X Factor, and I was like, oh my God, you have to do it. You have to do it. And I was like, oh my God, can I go back for the second season and be your contestant, you know, because anybody would be so fortunate to have you as a mentor. And it was that kind of conversation. She even looked at me and she said, and I tweeted that. I tweeted, you know, Whitney just gave me a little tad bit of information, shh, you know, and I showed her the tweet, and she's like, that's fine, girl, you know, and then she said, you know, Stacey, God is a God of second chances. And she meant me, for my age, to have been on the X Factor, and for, you know, just the way things were going. It was amazing. It was really, really amazing.
And then she sort of snapped. And in my world, when somebody sort of goes negative like that.
Well, that's why I came to you, because
it's usually because somebody when people drink a little too much, and if they have alcoholism or addiction, they can be a different person when they use, and they get aggressive, they get grandiose, they get paranoid. Is that the kind of stuff that was happening?
Well, that was the thing, and that when I went on Access Hollywood yesterday, I said something happened, and what you're describing is what it seemed to have happened.
And so who knows? It doesn't matter what you guys were fighting about. She just got focused on it and got aggressive, and that's that.
Yeah, well, I think she was concerned about who I was, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Well, just, you know, Whitney has a bunch of people around her all the time. And maybe as the night went on, she's like, wait a minute.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I was there because I was singing.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. Like Kevin Frazier went on to talk today and said that I was some girl that ran over and pushed my way to Whitney and was in her face. And Whitney was like, get out of my face. And I mean, that makes no sense.
You were spending the evening together with Nikki.
We were there from 11 o'clock to about 2 o'clock. I was there to sing, to pay tribute to Etta James. I had to sing. At Last, and girl,
she killed it.
and thank you very much. And I was in my area I had a date with me. I was, you know, there was about 6 or 7 of us, and they pulled me over to the stage where Whitney and Ray just happened to be standing. If you can imagine, it was very close proximity.
Is this and then she was now Ray J. I know Ray J. And he's got a new book out. He's trying to turn over a new leaf. He's trying to be
Ray's a beautiful person.
He's a great guy, but he's trying to be a better person. He re-chronicles in the book that he wasn't such a nice guy to women.
We get it. We get it. But he comes from a very good background. His mom and his sister are good people.
Did this flare over him?
I don't know what it was. He was definitely telling her Stacey is family.
Yeah.
Stacey is
He
family.
said that to you. He said that to
He
you.
was saying that to her, to
She'd
let her
already
know
gone
that I was
negative.
family, that I was not a threat, that I was family, that it didn't have to go the way it was going.
Okay, I want to show a little bit of tape here where Ray J talked about his relationship with I think it's Whitney here on the Insider. Check this out.
They blow this thing out of proportion. I mean, that's my friend. I've been knowing her for years and years and years, and she's a friend of the family. So when we go out, it's just the next day. It's everywhere, and there's so many different stories. But that's, you know, that's my people. That's my friend.
That's a friend, but you were once romantically involved with her.
You know what? I have a lot of love for her, and I have a lot of respect for her.
But Ray J was romantically involved with a whole lot of people when he was getting around. He wrote about it in his book. I'm not saying any of this secret out of school here, but he has really turned over a new leaf, and I'm sure he was being just her friend that night. But who knew? It could have been anything, it sounds like.
There was a
It
lot
could
of
have been
affinity
anything.
between them. You could tell that there was a lot of affinity and a lot of respect. And, you know, you just told me, because, I mean, I came here because you're an expert at this, and I was last night on Access Hollywood. I said, I don't know what happened. What you just described
Is what happened.
seems like
Yeah.
it,
Let me
it was
tell you that
paranoia, it was whatever.
Yeah, I heard her voice teacher. He was on CNN, I believe. I think it was Anderson Cooper, and he said the same thing: is that she was. He said was a very powerful person. What I heard was aggressive, self-willed. These are all things that addicts get when they're using. And that's very different than the Whitney we saw in the 2009 Oprah interview, and probably different than the Whitney you saw earlier in the evening, who was the person that we all
She
loved.
was funny and witty and so much fun, and I was like, oh my God, I'm hanging out with Whitney Houston, and this is amazing. And she made me feel like we'd known, because I did tell her, you know, we saw each other in 1995, and she put me on stage to sing, and her behavior was like, okay, girl, fine. You know, I know you. You know what I mean? I don't remember that, but you're down here with me, so, you know. And it was fine. It was really, really great. And, you know, Dr. Drew, another reason I wanted to come here is because I'm receiving so much backlash as if I did something to Whitney.
Yeah,
but the reality is, and Nikki knows, because I walked right over to Nikki right after, and I said, oh my God, I can't believe what just happened.
Yeah.
And what happened was,
Hang on, I'm going to hold you. 'Cause
okay.
I have to take a break.
Okay.
I'll let you talk about what did happen. Again, I think you're right, though. We're rehashing things that we already know. You know,
And
I'm
it's
sorry
sad.
you got caught in the crossfire with this. It really is not fair. I'm glad Nikki.